morning, everyone. I'm so sorry it's been such a long time since I've jumped on and done a vlog. The start of this year has just been a little bit crazy. You'll have to excuse my voice. I feel like I've just been shouting over at the backyard because we had some lovely tradies here just trimming the hedges. They got a little bit nuts over summer just with all of the heat, and they had grown out so far that I could barely park my car and get out because I felt like I was sort of like skating past the hedges and all the bugs, and it was just a little bit much. So they've had a really nice trim now, but I couldn't start vlogging earlier because that was really, really loud. So I'm thankful we've had that all finalized, but I just felt like I had a bit of stage fright picking up the camera. It's been a little bit too long between vlogging, and sometimes I kind of just think I don't really have anything to talk about, or I don't really want to waste your time updating you with things. But now a bunch of stuff has happened, so I really wanted to catch up and spend the day together. I have so many exciting things happening with my business and just with the house, and little updates of things that I want to share with you. So what better time than to spend an entire day together, and I can show you a couple of things that I've been up to. One of the first things on my list is these pin boards that I bought the other week from Officeworks, and they have just been sitting here, like one on the wall and one not, because the little hangers are not in the right spot, and they're also quite heavy. So I just got a little bit concerned that if I tried to put them up with the little stickers, they would just fall down and break, and because they were $60 each, I definitely don't want to risk that. So it's been on my list to bother Jazz to help me with lining up the hangers properly so that I can get these both put up. But I had a few things left over on this one from when I did the photo shoot, and I'm just going to continue to populate those because this wall is actually the background to my computer, which is over this way. So it'd be really nice for clients to kind of see some of the working studio stuff in the background. This is a little bit of a messy corner, but another little thing that I found recently was this tower fan, and this one I just got from Bunnings. It was maybe $119, I think, something like that, and it's got a whole bunch of different settings. You can do oscillating, quiet mode if you're like on a Zoom call, different speeds, all that sort of stuff. So I just really needed something in here because we only have air conditioning down at the front of the house, and it gets so hot, especially those 38-degree days that we have here, which are just absolutely crazy. And I actually really like this. So I'll just show you the brand in case you also need something like that for your home, because I, like you would expect, did so much research on this to make sure that it was actually going to be a good one. And it genuinely feels like aircon, even though it's only a fan. I'm not really sure how they manage that, but that's been one of my favorite little purchases for the office. My other really exciting update is that I finally bought a walking pad. So I actually just got this off Amazon. I think it was $250, and it is the perfect size. What I'm actually going to do is move that filing cabinet out from underneath that desk, and that way I'll be able to neatly store this walking pad straight in the gap that's under there, so it's not just like hanging out in the middle of my floor. That's why it's unplugged at the moment, because I sort of move it from here to under my desk, but that's kind of where it's just been sitting. This is so good. I'm absolutely obsessed with it, and I'm glad that I, again, did a little bit of research because some of these are around like $600 for like the folding ones, and I kind of thought that I needed that, and then I realized I just did not want to spend that much money because that is super expensive. So I ended up finding this air hot one on Amazon. It got delivered to my home honestly like just a couple of days later, and it's so good. I'll show you what it looks like when it's turned on. This is a little remote that it comes with, so that actually just goes into the little slot down the end there, but this remote you can use to turn it on. So I usually just like hop on there, and I do walk in bare feet because you're only walking really slow anyway, so it doesn't really bother me. But yes, and then you can just hit play, gives you a little countdown, and it starts working. And it only goes up to speed 6. So I have been walking on it at around about 2.5 when I'm in a meeting. The only thing is you have to like set the speed before you start the meeting, because can you imagine me just beeping this thing? It is so loud when you're trying to swap the speed. But the other day I did a meeting with an accountant. I want to get a new accountant for my business just to kind of handle everything, because I am thoroughly sick of doing BAS and all of those businessy kind of things myself. And I walked the entire time. I put my desk up to the standing height, and I just had the laptop set up, had my light, everything, had the walking pad, just let him know I was walking so it didn't look weird that I was like, you know, moving around during the call. And I think I ended up doing like 1.5 kilometers and maybe like 100 calories or something like that. So it's a really nice way just to add a little bit more movement if you are in a really sedentary job like me, because I pretty much sit down at a desk all day, and sometimes when I get really busy I forget to move, to even get up and just go and get a drink of water, or to get outside and get some sunshine. So I really wanted to have something that would encourage me to just get on my feet a little bit more and actually utilize my standing desk, because I bought that standing desk and I can tell you honestly, I rarely ever have it on the standing setting because I sort of hated just standing there. It felt a little bit weird or pointless kind of thing. Like, it's nice for your back, but I don't know, I just kind of really wanted to like get moving. So I'm really glad that I just invested in a little walking pad. But if you can't find it on Amazon, tell me in the comments and I will link it for you down below, because I know that they're sold by all different sort of resellers. So I think mine was like the last one in stock from this particular person, but love it, worth every cent. I am holding my laptop and my phone and all of my little tech pieces because I thought I would head out into the living room and just work out here. I don't always want to work in my office. It's a little bit much, but I do have something exciting to say, which is I'm now based out of a co-working space in Cremorne. Well, it's also South Yarra and like around about the place because it's part of the Commons. If you are from Melbourne or Sydney, maybe you've kind of heard of that chain, but it's really beautiful little co-working spaces. And I now have a membership at one of them, but it means you can kind of work around and like go to a whole different bunch of those spaces. So next time I'm in there, I'm going to vlog because you will die. It is such a beautiful space. It's like the bougie one. So obviously, you know, that's why I joined that particular one because I'm very fussy with aesthetics, but it's so pretty in there. It feels like kind of like the Carlisle or something. It's like a luxury hotel sort of vibe, and they do this full concierge service where they would like get you coffee and like you can organize printing, and like if your visitors turn up, they come and get you. It's really, really cute. And even the other day they had like a whole breakfast burrito situation going on, which is all just included as like part of being a member. So that has been the best way to start the new year because it just kind of got me out of working from home all the time. So I've been super excited with that. But on that note, I have to share something with you that I've been working on, and I'll just bring it up on my laptop now so I can show you through. For anyone who doesn't know, I do have my architectural and interior design studio, which is called Formery, but I always wanted to make a more affordable version that people who can't necessarily afford to hire an architect or an interior designer could use. And that's where Plannery comes in. Plannery is where I wanted to create accessible digital online products. So I've done some masterclasses, I've got some free courses and things coming up, and this year I also have a dream home in-person event. So I'm going to leave this linked under the video as well in case you want to join. So it's just www.plannery.com.au, but I would leave the link to the event because I have 2 events and I would love for any of you to join. There is Brief to Budget to Build, which is the online event. This one is on at 7 p.m. on Thursday, the 20th of February. And this is just a free Zoom call where I walk people through a 60-minute online webinar with questions about navigating designing your dream home, and that is for clarity from A to B, just providing some information there. But the one that I really want to talk about is this is the dream home workshop. So I'm just going to click view event, which is the page link I'm going to share with you. So here are my photos for the dream home workshop, and this is for anyone wanting to learn how to style their home. So that could be furniture styling and laying out your home. So you don't necessarily have to be renovating or purchasing a new home for this to be valuable to you. This is something that you can join if you just want to learn about how colors work together and how to style your space. But this is also for people who are a little bit more DIY and are wanting to do some renovations or upgrades to their space, or are even in the process of considering building a new home. So this one is at Forum, which is the co-working space. That I've got the beautiful big boardroom there. So there's space for 20 people. And I think I've already sold 3 or 4 tickets now. So this has just recently been launched and it is only for 20 spaces. So you definitely need to get in fast. But this is on Saturday, the 22nd of March. And This is from 10 a.m. till 2:30, and it's $149 for tickets, but I actually just did a discount code, which is YouTube, and that will get you $50 off. So if any of you want to come along, I would absolutely love to meet you in person. I think it would be so fun to see you there. And so it'll be only $99 for you guys because you are my little YouTube family and I want to look after you for this event. It's a really fun 4-hour guided workshop. So there's 8 30-minute power sessions. I'm going to be doing things like brief development, budget tracking, accessing trade discounts, how to make a schedule, mood boards, color matching, engaging with tradespeople, spatial planning, and heaps more. There's also going to be a light lunch with some coffee and tea and things like that. And you can also get 20% off all of my design packages as a little thank you for attending, but all the details are here on the events page. I would absolutely love if I got to meet some of you here. So I'm really hoping that the timing and the date and everything works out. And hey, even if you're not from Melbourne, maybe you want to make the trip down and come and see what this beautiful city has to offer. And we can spend some time together at the workshop. So keep an eye on the link. Even if you know some friends and family that might be keen, I would love for you to pass it on. And yeah, let's get back into the video. I think the last thing that I have to update you on, since it's been so long since we got a chance to catch up, is I have 2 weddings coming up. So there's a little bit of travel for us in this first half of the year, which is kind of a good thing because I felt like the other day, like I went and got my Botox done I get Botox in the top of my forehead because I am very expressive and it was just getting a little bit creasy up there. So I was chatting to the girl that does my Botox and we were just talking about how certain industries are really quiet at this time of year. And I was just sort of complaining because I had sent out, last year I won 4 projects in a row right at the end of the year. And those have been the projects that I'm spending this time of year working on. So I'm incredibly grateful for those. But the sort of downside, I guess, has been that I did go and see 2 other clients for different projects and they didn't end up getting back to me with the quotes because I feel like this industry is a little bit tricky. There's a lot of different prices and, a lot of different expectations, and people will say high end because they're looking at certain things on Pinterest. But then when they get a quote for what it takes to put a high end design together, they don't really want to pay it. So I think there was just a couple of communication breakdowns and things, and you obviously don't win every job that you quote on, and that is something I've had to learn as a business owner, that majority of the time I am winning a lot of projects and I am really, really busy in the business now, but every now and then there's just a quiet period or maybe a period where you're just kind of not clicking with the people that are coming into your world and asking for your service. And I was just feeling a bit depressed about it. And she was saying the exact same, that in her industry, this time of year is really, really quiet. So if you have your own business or you're also, I don't know, just in an industry where you feel like you're just sitting around a bit at the moment, I feel you. And it's just best to kind of not get down about it because I think that we're all in the same boat, that money is really tight at the moment and people are just not spending on things when they don't need to. We're all being a little bit more conservative. And I think that's just I don't know, an entire snapshot of things that are going on in the world and lots of different political changes and I don't know, budget changes and things like that. So that is just life. And I've really been trying to not let it get to me. I've just been focusing on good things like putting together the trip plans for these 2 trips. So I actually was at a bachelorette on the weekend and I have to show you, it was so classy. I've never been to a bachelorette that doesn't have, I'm not even going to say, but, just the classic bachelorette things like a person dancing and, just certain paraphernalia on the table. But there was none of that at this time. We actually just all got these cute little matching bracelets. I hope it's going to focus on that. But this little matching bracelet from Finer Rings, and Finer Rings is just I'm pretty sure it's a Melbourne brand, but they just have a couple of different stores where they do really cute dainty jewelry, and this is one of those permanent bracelets, if you will. And I just thought that was such a beautiful idea because there was about maybe 15 of us and we all went over to the jewelry station and got a little bracelet put on, and I just love mine. I'll pop a photo of it here so you can see it in better detail, but I actually really want to go back and get another one. I was just waiting to see if it would snap off after I'd been to the gym because I used to have a Sarah and Sebastian one that Jazz bought me, which was not cheap, if you know that brand. And the first time I went to a reformer Pilates class, snapped, finished, and they refused to fix it. So it's one of those things where I just don't want to invest in those sort of pieces of jewelry if they're not going to last. But I am happy to report that I have had this on for almost a week now, and I've been to multiple different classes. It was reformer, cardio, all sorts of stuff, and I haven't been overly gentle with it, and it is completely fine. So if this lasts all the way to the wedding, I am going back and getting another one. So I'm really, really pumped about that. I thought it was so pretty. But yes, I'm flying to Tasmania, and I've been to Tasmania once. Some of you might remember because I do think I vlogged it. I went to Hobart just for a couple of nights because I had another bachelorette actually, and it was, I just stayed at the Vibe Hotel there, I think, which is kind of like right in Hobart. And then I did a little bit of Battery Point and found a really cute cafe there. And then I also went to Mona because Jazz ended up flying down after. It ended up, it was Valentine's Day weekend, I think. So I just said to him to come down and we could go and see Mona and do the museum, which was absolutely incredible. But this time we are also back in Hobart for the wedding, and it's the 1st of March, which is really cool because we're flying in the day before, and that means the morning of is the Salamanca markets. And I did not get to see this market last time, and I've heard they are amazing. So if you're from Tassie, you're gonna have to give me all the tips on any good restaurants and things to do, because at the moment on my list I've got Mount Wellington, which I've been told is a really nice lookout to drive up to, and then Salamanca market morning of the wedding. Wedding day, obviously we will be busy all day from like 2 until midnight pretty much. And then we're staying in a really beautiful hotel called Moss Hotel that I thought looked really, really pretty, but it was not cheap. But I guess that's just the state of, you know, hotels and things these days. If you want the aesthetic option, you do end up paying a little bit more, but I'm fine with that because it's, you know, it's one of those special occasions that you're only there for like 2 nights anyway. And then I booked us this absolutely insane Airbnb in Freycinet, so where the national park is, which is Wineglass Bay. And I've heard that you can get like the freshest oysters, and there's like a berry farm and all sorts of really beautiful produce around that area. So I think we're just going to be eating ourselves to a coma while we're walking around all of those spaces, just eating from every single little place that we can find. And then I'm hoping that we'll be able to do like Mount Amos, or I don't know, just see Wineglass Bay in some capacity. So the last thing I need to organize is just renting a car. So if you have any comments or experience or things that I'm missing that I should be doing while we're there, let me know. But it is only a 4-day trip, so I don't want it to be like too jam-packed, and I'm also just assuming that the weather's going to be amazing, but as we know, it doesn't always work out like that. So regardless, I think we'll enjoy spending time in our Airbnb because it is super cute. And then later in March, we are going to Jazz's brother's wedding in Bali. So I'm going to be over in Bali for like 2 weeks as well, which is really, really exciting. We've booked our flights, travel insurance, accommodation. I think there's like weird visa entry things that you need to do in advance now to go there. So I need to look into that a little bit more. And we are staying in Uluwatu and Canggu. So again, more than happy for all the recommendations. I've been doing so much research about where's good to go shopping and like the restaurants and all that kind of stuff. But plenty of exciting things coming up and lots to look forward to this year. And then later in the year, I really want to plan either New Zealand or Japan for us. But I need to get really busy and get onto all of my projects between now and then, because I want to wrap up all of these small projects prior to going away in March. And then I want to have a little bit of a break for that period. And then I will just jump straight back into it mid-year. And hopefully by the end of the year, I'm going to have a few things built, because one of the beautiful houses I've been working on, it should be starting on site, I think in late Feb. So fingers crossed that all goes ahead as scheduled, but I'm incredibly excited for that one. It is a very beautiful, big family home down Bayside. And I'm going to drive down to that area next week just so I can get a little bit of a better feel for the whole space, because I've never been to the beach in that sort of area before. So I will bring you along for that. But that's it from me for the moment. I'm going to stop yapping because I actually do need to go and do a couple of client calls and a little bit of work. And then I think by that time, Jazz will be back from the gym, and I'm going to make us yummy salad sandwiches for lunch, because I had screenshot this like inspo picture when someone made their lunch the other day and it looked so good. Just like classic yummy ham salad sandwich with just everything packed in there, super colorful, lots of yummy stuff. So yes, that will be the start of my day. And then I'm going to take you along later, because I did a huge clean out of my wardrobe the other day and I've got a massive bag of clothes and I need to go down to one of the op shops here and donate it. But there's one I haven't been to yet that I'm really wanting to go and look at. So I will take you when I walk down there because it looks really cute from the outside, and maybe I'll do a little bit of thrifting as well. That was a long day. I have such a headache. I had a bit of a problematic client meeting that was a little bit frustrating, but I'm through that now, and now I really just need to get out for a walk. So I'm gonna go and take that bag of clothes to the thrift shop because it is really late now. It's actually 4:45. I had 2 meetings with 2 different legal teams where I want to get some contracts done up for my business. So I've been looking into that a little bit more, and I found 2, I'll let you know the name actually. I looked at, one was LawPath and one was Legal Vision, and they're both like membership based models for more small startup kind of businesses. So if you're kind of in that same headspace, it's probably worth chatting to them because they were both really nice. And now I just need to make a decision about who would be best to support our endeavors kind of like moving forwards. But let's go and check out this op shop before it shuts because they said 5:30. So cross all fingers for me that I'm not going to waste my time walking down there and it'll be shut. This is the huge bag of stuff that I cleaned out of my wardrobe, and quite honestly, there is a lot of really nice things in here that I could probably sell on Marketplace, but I truly cannot be bothered. I'm very busy at the moment, and I think it would just be better to donate to an op shop and they can make some money off selling a couple of nice pieces. So let's get out of here before this store closes.
Significant light, just where it was needed, gleaming black as night, cloistered in injustice, dead in the eye of time. Nobody is losing, faces merchant change, but your face remains the same.